And we're jumping right into game number 1 of our third series of today, MarineLorD versus DeMu, and MarineLorD is going for an immediate barracks drop.
All right, so he is going for an unexpected strategy here immediately with the barracks. So we're going to be seeing some men-at-arms early on here. DeMu going with the strategy that I expected, sends a villager forward, goes for that normal dock kind of play here. Men-at-arms immediately going to be in queue here. Dock is going to go up though without too many issues. Yeah, once those men-at-arms come out, DeMu is going to have to look out for those. Gonna probably have to transition into a very fast feudal age behind that. But that also could be difficult if his gold gets denied. But you're the English. You do have those short bows. Granted, the 3 armor is going to negate a little bit of that, but should still be fine in the end, I feel like.
Yeah. First men-at-arms is already moving out on the map. Those men-at-arms are more expensive than those spears, and when you're just using torches, it doesn't matter if it's a spear, scout, men-at-arms, villager, whatever it may be. You really just want as many torches on there as possible, so it's not really that huge effect. But as Crackedy just mentioned a second ago, denying that gold can be key. Could just run straight past the dock with one of those and just start trying to hit some of those villagers on gold.
Yeah, and DeMu is already going out to gold, so something tells me that he does have a hunch that something like this could be happening right now. I'm not sure if he scouted. I think his scout pretty much went back to his base again. Yeah, he did deliver a couple more sheep. But yeah, it does look like DeMu is expecting something like this to happen, and he is now seeing those early men-at-arms could be just pulling his villager back. Looks like he's doing just that. And with that, he has 2 fishing ships out, and he can just leave it at that. It's actually going for another one. But now he should just be looking for a fast feudal age.
Yeah, it's up to 4 men-at-arms for MarineLorD. Hasn't yet stopped producing those until now. No more men-at-arms in queue, but wouldn't even be able to do it yet. As I say that, he just has a forced drop-off and has another one in queue.
All right, so that's going to be 5 men-at-arms out for MarineLorD. He's completely out of gold now, which means that his age up is going to be significantly delayed because he is going to have to gather up 200 gold for the age up. And he will need to take down the dock for that. But DeMu, he is not too far off of his own age up. And even if the dock gets destroyed, DeMu's just going to make a couple of longbowmen, like 5-6 longbowmen, should be fine to get back onto the water. And then he can just resume fishing.
Yeah, exactly. Those fishing boats can always just reposition down the canal just a little bit. But MarineLorD is actually choosing to finally bring up a villager himself. Question is, will it be a dock on his side? Will it be a forward dock? Or even potentially an outpost?
I think with this play, it's going to have to be an outpost, right? Because there's no way that if the feudal age comes in from DeMu, that he will be in a good enough position to really take down, or rather continue fighting there. Oof. with the longbowmen coming out. Now Council Hall coming up, 7 villagers working on that one.
I love the vision. Scouts it out exactly as it's coming up, sees the villagers moving out, starting to build it on up, and he's got 5 men-at-arms, and that villager has a torch as well, so dock will be denied for the time being.
Yeah, but still, the fishing ships can go for one last drop-off, just supply DeMu with a little bit of bonus food. He should then have enough to just produce a couple of these longbowmen. And he hasn't yet started. Okay, now he started making that outpost. It's gonna take a minute for that outpost to go out. Might be just about the same time as the Council Hall finishes.
Yeah, at least benefit for him is MarineLorD will have that network of castles bonus going forward. The men-at-arms that he's sending, I feel like these are just almost like a throwaway stall. Like he's going to force off a gold a little bit, maybe just mess up some of DeMu's timings. Bells get ringing, villagers just get pulled back quite quickly. So again, just timing might get messed up just a tiny bit. But MarineLorD about to be able to drop his own feudal age.
Quite impressive, being able to now go for his own council hall.
Yeah.
Had a lot of villagers on gold there.
A much quicker timing.
It's gonna get finished, yeah.
Was not expecting it to be that fast. Men-at-Arms can still just kind of be annoying with these longbows. They aren't going to prove to be too effective until, you know, like you said, you get a couple more numbers on there. 6 villagers building this council hall, so going quite quickly, and at least we'll have a front line to at least stall out the longbow push a little bit, and needs to mass up quite a few longbows himself.
What I want to see from DeMu right now is just go around the left side of the canal instead of the bottom side, like the upper side, and just drop a dock further towards the middle where the outpost isn't in range, and then continue fishing from there.
I think
he does have the military advantage for now.
I think that makes sense, but that 1 Men-at-Arms is at least walking back and forth for the time being, so might at least stall it out until a few more of those longbows send across and deal with that Men-at-Arms. Oh, look at the circle. Look at the little split circle. It gets spotted out, though.
Men-at-Arms gonna be found out. And yeah, you can see that the longbowmen actually still do quite a bit of damage here to these Men-at-Arms. Upgrade is going to be coming in on those, but that is not going to increase the pierce armor on them. So they still will take the same amount of damage from these longbowmen. They do get a little bit of bonus HP.
Yep, there we go. Upgrade finishes. Can just jump into that outpost, stall out a little bit. 5 longbows to push forward, and MarineLorD, he's already got 3 to protect himself, make it 4, and about to have a 5th pop out once he can put it in queue.
Yeah, should be safe in his base for now. No issues there, especially with the network of castles helping him out there with the attack speed aura. Behind this, both players are relatively even for now when it comes to their economy and their income. DeMu a little bit ahead, no economy upgrades yet from either of these players, but DeMu certainly has the resource in theory to grab some of them.
Yeah, DeMu's definitely got some resources in the bank. It's just what's he want to utilize it for. I feel like he's saving some wood to try to get a dock down, but it looks like MarineLorD actually pulls out the Men-at-Arms, circles around the backside of the longbows, pushes forward with his, and he's gonna get a good little pickup here in this mirror matchup.
Yeah, trades 2 longbows for 5. That is a very good trade there for MarineLorD. Takes a very good engagement here early on. And with that, pulls a little bit ahead. Now Wheelbarrow coming in as the first economy upgrade here for DeMu. Would really love to also see double Broadex coming in for him. He's also starting to get a couple of farms here early on in this game. At the same time, MarineLorD looks like he got much luckier when it came to the sheep. He still has many sheep remaining.
Yeah, and one thing you can't forget about is that forward outpost in the center can still provide that network of castles for MarineLorD, and he looks like he sent 1 villain to stone. He might just plan on getting a little bit of an upgrade on there, but yep, and there it is. Arrowslit's going to come in.
Coming in.
This is huge for him. This provides such a forward positioning point for him, and also could allow him to do some fishing behind this, which I believe I see a dock being dropped.
Yeah, so MarineLorD is going to further scale his economy here, which is quite nice for him. I do also like the fact that DeMu has started dropping in a couple of the farms for himself. So both players' economy looking quite good right now, but the Arrowslits and placement is going to be coming in, and with that, longbows are going to have to retreat for now.
Yep. Longbow numbers not too crazy of an advantage for DeMu, considering MarineLorD has a few of those Men-at-Arms just to be a front line to soak up some damage. Wouldn't be surprised to see some double Broadex coming in for, well, there it is. As I say it, double Broadex coming in for MarineLorD. It's definitely an eco upgrade you highly want to focus on, not only when you're English for longbows, but especially when you're English trying to invest into a water economy as well. A lot of wood investment.
Yeah, exactly. Right now, though, blacksmith upgrades coming in for DeMu. Still no double Broadex. MarineLorD is getting double Broadex first, but Wheelbarrow has come in, which boosts both the food income and the wood income for DeMu. And both the blacksmith upgrades are getting finished here first for him. And with that, it means that he's going to be able to take very good trades against these early Men-at-Arms as well.
Yeah, he's gonna, those Men-at-Arms are gonna look like spearmen, just with the amount of longbows and with the amount of upgrades that he has in comparison. Could easily go and force down those fishing ships back into the dock, but won't be able to, take them down if MarineLorD's fast enough, just jumps on inside with the amount of spots available.
Exactly. Longbows are now getting found out. Also, a galley being produced here by MarineLorD just came in time. Line formation coming out, but in theory, the longbowman should be enough there in order to just kill the galley immediately.
Oh, fishing boats healing up on that galley, but trading their lives for some longbow shots. Remember, like we were talking about, those upgrades are in. Longbows don't want to group on up, but a decent amount of damage got put in. Maybe this trade can go a little bit more in MarineLorD's favor, who has been investing harder into his military.
Yeah, with the military numbers here, it definitely looks like DeMu is not going to be able to win the fight. Is at least going to be able to trade out a little bit here. Ooh. But he's lost so many military units so far. It's only going to get worse and worse for him. And MarineLorD still has such a big military mass out here. And you cannot lose your military mass like that as the English when you're DeMu. I mean, generally, the English don't want to lose their military mass, but right now it's 8-24.
Yeah, it looks like DeMu might have been thinking about Castle Age, but the problem with Castle Age now is you're going to have to drop a white tower very, very defensively, very quick, and MarineLorD has some extra eco investments behind this. Yes, he just lost a lot of his fishing boats, but he can fully push forward with this military and have a huge timing push.
It feels like these military upgrades, they were nice for DeMu, but he didn't push with a large enough army there. Got trapped in the end there when he tried to put some damage onto his opponent. And now he's kind of stuck in his base, trying to go up to the next age. But he could get caught out there. Where is he going to place his... DeMu is still the kind of guy to go with the... not the White Tower, but the King's Palace? The castle?
Yeah, King's Palace.
King's Palace, exactly.
He's
going to have to drop that onto gold.
If he places King's Palace, he dies. He has to drop White Tower.
He cannot, though, because then he just dies long-term. It's going to be backwards King Palace.
And here we go. The King's Palace is going down. Gold easily will be able to be denied. So even though he might have the tech advantage, MarineLorD's making this push at the perfect timing. And the longbows may not get an upgrade, or even more importantly, you know, secondary pierce armor, secondary pierce damage might not be able to come through either.
Managed to gather enough for the upgrade, for the veterancy. That's going to be the main thing that he wants to look forward to. Is unlikely to get enough for another blacksmith upgrade, and he does realize and pulls back now. That is the correct call. Just has to fall back under his TC. Needs probably to pull a couple more villagers for the age up, though, because MarineLorD could potentially just run right in.
Now we're going to see the true eco graph with those two idled fishing boats that haven't been working for so long. Longbow's trying to like act like they can defend this push, but in reality, DeMu just needs to pull those back, be a full defensive shell right now. The King's Palace finishes.
Has a couple of stables out. Actually, is going for knights now. Isn't going to be upgrading his archers. Has to be careful though. Villagers could potentially get sniped here. Does pull them.
One goes down. Two goes down. Now longbows are starting to trade. He actually needs to thin out this longbow mass because right now, 2 or 3 knights I don't think is going to be enough to clear all of this.
He does at least have one of the pierce armor upgrades, but MarineLorD also grabbed the pierce damage upgrade.
And look at this idle time.
Being idle. I think DeMu also needs just a couple of palisade walls just to make it harder for his opponent to just dive in back and forth like this.
And there's that first knight. Longbows still focusing in on the other longbows. Men-at-Arms just being that frontline push. And it looks like MarineLorD's just going to focus in right in on all of the longbows. Once those are cleared up, the knights can easily be sniped down with the mass as well.
Knights, though, running around the longbowmen, getting some good hits in themselves. Longbow mass has been thinned out.
And look at what's on the backside for MarineLorD. He is going up with the King's Palace as well. He's fine with this throwaway army. He's starting to trade out for some villagers. You can see the longbows trading fire too. And all of his fishing, everything is so boomed up. This King's Palace is going to have such a stronger, such a bigger payoff here.
You want to say that it's now kind of equal, but it's not, because MarineLorD, he's been fully fish booming behind this. 14 fishing ships out on the map, and he's going into mass men-at-arms, which is going to completely stomp over everything that DeMu has right now. A mixture of men-at-arms and spearmen. with the combination of his superior food income now, that he has all of those all of those fishing ships out there.
Yeah, this is just one of those that like DeMu did a great job holding this push. It could have been game over, and he did a great job with the hold. But now he has a bigger hole to come back from. We see veteran spearmen being upgraded because DeMu was focusing in on those knights pretty heavily, and MarineLorD's still gonna most likely just push into heavy longbow composition too.
Here we go. Longbow mass looking good. He has 10. Those should be able to deal with the spears. Has knights as well.
Got a
water economy. Gonna be tough now.
Little bitey infantry gets dealt with. DeMu's pushing forward, and by the time this army gets to where it might be able to do some damage, MarineLorD's upgrades are going to come through, and he's going to have a significant mass to hold this. And you can see them now getting closer to clashing. DeMu's going to spot out some of that fishing, spot out that military, and turns right back around.
I mean, DeMu's economy is still not the worst. He's lacking behind in the food income by quite a bit. And MarineLorD has produced a lot, but right now, it's tough. It's tough. Maybe there's a chance if DeMu takes a good fight, keeps the army count low from MarineLorD, but MarineLorD isn't the kind of player to make any mistakes now in this position. He is not pushing out too early. And we're going for a couple of raids here now with his own knights.
It's so crazy seeing how many spears MarineLorD is producing as the English against an English player, but it makes so much sense with how many knights DeMu's pushing with. Veteran spearmen just right there ready where the knights are already.
Yeah, immediate reaction as well to the military mass. Oh no, knights running into the spearmen. Loses other one half HP, and the military mass from MarineLorD even sniping the one monk with the relic there.
Yeah, and the problem with knights is if you get forced into a head-on engagement, which English love just forcing head-on engagements, they don't like taking those head-on fights, especially against spears, and there we see another knight get picked on off.
Same time, galley gets produced. Lots of longbows here. But the fishing ships are getting pulled back. Longbows and longbow.
Looks like
DeMu has enough stone for a keep.
But where's that keep going to go? He needs to drop it, and there's already a mass in his base. His military mass is forward, trying to deny that fishing, and MarineLorD is doing another push. A lot more idle time, a lot more damage that's about to come in again.
Galley comes in as well. DeMu can't fight against the Delhi, needs to pull away from the water here. More villagers getting sniped now by MarineLorD, and DeMu taps out cold CG here. He knows that with that food economy, he just cannot keep up, and the first game goes over to MarineLorD.
Yeah, MarineLorD just very, very clinical showing. I think the key there was just not allowing that first little small push from DeMu to come towards his base. He really like denied and annoyed a lot with the men-at-arms and was able to equalize the longbow numbers, and then won that first huge fight that DeMu pushed forward with.
Yeah. To be fair, Canal can be a very weird map to play. So I wouldn't necessarily, from this first game, deduct anything here when it comes to the skill of these players. So this is still very much anybody's game at this point in time.
Yeah. You can kind of see where the economy count started to get out of hand. It was right as MarineLorD was making that push. He double docked, invested into a ton of food economy behind that, and then really had a pretty similar, you know, I would say not too delayed castle timing, but had a lot more eco with it.
Yeah, something that was quite rough is the way DeMu pushed out early on with these couple of longbowmen. When they get caught out and you lose your longbow numbers, it can be quite detrimental, especially in English mirror.
Yeah.
The English really, they want to build up their military early on, and like when you lose your big mass like that, it can hurt quite a bit. And now, we've got another mirror on our hands. This time, it's gonna be the Malian mirror here on Dry Arabia.
Yeah, you know, it's one that we expected Malo to be coming out. We expected it to be a civ picked and utilized by both of these players, and you know, why not make it a mirror matchup on the very next game and just keep the mirrors going.
Yeah, just mirror on the wall. I mean, Dry Arabia is probably the best map for Malians to play in this tournament. There are so many very unique maps where certain civilizations just have bonuses that make them better than others. Some regions, for example, very aggressive map, it's like Ottomans or French. Lipany, you got the Delhi, you got the Abbasid. Dry Arabia is very much like just your standard map, and that's where Malians can really shine.
Yeah. And the thing about Mali is like they play like very different, but also the same way against a lot of civs. It's just kind of different orders. The thing about Mali mirrors is usually it's just cow booming, and then it's just a head-on matchup to who can utilize that cow boom more effectively.
Mali mirrors are fun. Why? Because the javelin throwers, suddenly it's like the javelin throwers also counter the javelin throwers. They have high base damage, they do bonus damage to ranged. Guess what? Javelin throwers are also ranged, so they do bonus damage to each other. And with that, it suddenly becomes a very, very funky kind of matchup.
Yeah, it's a fun match. It's another one I kind of equate to the French mirror, where it's a little bit more fun to watch than an English mirror per se. And we'll get that game going here in just a bit. See what builds they have in mind. See if they will actually make this not quite the same mirror matchup as we've seen at times.
Here we go. Only gets initiated. We're almost into our second game now of a third set of the day. MarineLorD versus DeMu. We had the English mirror. Now it's going to be a mirror between the Malian menace. Who is going to be victorious? And there we go. Game number 2. MarineLorD in the color red, playing as the Malians on the opposite side. Big surprise. We're going to have another Malian player as the DeMu.
Yeah, and early on, we're just going to see these scouts circling on up, picking up that sheep, and usually I feel like you'll see a few more houses get invested into in the Mali mirror rather than like the 6 typical, or against an aggressive civ, you might only go 2 or 4. You might end up seeing like the full circle all the way around.
Yeah, just running around, maybe being a little bit aggressive, but you want to play it safe usually as the Malians, since you do need to go for drop-off earlier on with your scout. Don't have the bonus that an ambassador or a Delhi player has with the berries. Both players looking to just scout normally here, grabbing the sheep up around their TC.
Yeah, once you get that first drop-off, you kind of feel a little bit better. You know you're not going to go idle for a bit, and that's, those sheep are going to be enough for his feudal age timing. And so it's, like we said, kind of about how many houses you want to invest on into. We're seeing 6 down so far for MarineLorD. Villager still standing out there, whereas DeMu is pulling his back.
MarineLorD gathered a little bit of extra wood. Looks like he also chopped a little bit of the next tree there. Yeah, and he actually went for another house there. All right, that's interesting. Chopping the extra tree there. It's a little bit inefficient because you do need to like go for the animation, and like it takes a little bit of time to start chopping from that next tree. So it's a little bit inefficient in theory when it comes to going for that extra house there on the wood line, on the pit line.
Yeah, especially when you think about you're delaying your feudal age, and what's your feudal age do? Provides gold immediately when you finish it. So like you're getting this like slight bit of extra gold over the course of the game with that house that you built, but you're not getting that immediate gold payoff, which I'm sure you can end up getting a house timing pretty quick after your feudal age.
Looking at right now, like MarineLorD has a little bit more gold, but food-wise, DeMu should get a much quicker age up in.
Yeah, exactly. And once he finishes that age up, gold flips right back in his favor.
There we go. Manzikori, first being built here now by DeMu. MarineLorD also macroing behind that one, gets his one up not too much after that. It's not a ton of idle time there, but stuff like this could, in the end, punish you hard, because if you time it wrong, it might actually cause you to go idle on your TC.
The 5 villagers on the Manticore for DeMu gonna build it up a little bit quicker, and that's a landmark that it's almost like sometimes you'll see people like rush down the chapel. It's so effective once it finishes that people can sacrifice the extra villagers, even though they have that kind of diminishing payoff to even finish it faster.
There was some idle time on the TC of MarineLorD. If you look at the eco graph, it looks like there's like roughly 8 to 10 seconds of idle time that MarineLorD had on his TC. So every now and then he falls a little behind in the eco count. And that might just be something that happens because he went for that additional house.
Yeah, exactly. It's just, you know, not quite the cleanest build order. Usually you won't see any idle time among these top players. Is just these slight little differences do create an impact throughout the game. MarineLorD, though, he's already moving out to get that second pit mine location prepped and ready.
Yeah, he definitely has a plan in mind there for this mirror matchup. And it's very interesting. You never know. I mean, maybe the house, the one extra house on that pit mine is worth a little bit of idle time on the TC. It is constant income that you get from it, after all. Age up now coming in for both players. MarineLorD already prepping the houses, as you said, for the pit mine, also getting in his own mill. Could be looking for eco upgrades as well behind this. Immediately grabbing double broadaxe and could be clicking wheelbarrow soon as well.
Yeah, you can see they are both just planning on trying to get this cow boom as fully boomed as possible to then have the Grand Filani drop. We're actually seeing a little bit of scouting, even though I feel like both players know exactly what their opponents are doing. You still need to double check. You still need to confirm.
MarineLorD actually didn't see the mill there from DeMu. And DeMu's already getting wheelbarrow, MarineLorD now as well. DeMu a little bit ahead when it comes to the upgrade on the wheelbarrow. So only very slight differences so far, and that DeMu's only just now going out for the pit mine. But he's placing the pit mine before he's placing the houses. So in that regard, he's actually a little bit ahead right now, I feel like, because MarineLorD so far hasn't been able to place the pit mine.
Yeah, just now placing the pit mine. DeMu also has mined up a decent bit of gold and has a mining camp, which obviously helps you have quicker gold income. Yes, you had to use your villagers to do it, but he's already prepped and ready to continue to just fully get that gold as boomed as possible.
Here we go. 2 pit mines now from both players. Then getting a couple of villagers onto gold. Just going for that cow boom. As a standard in the Malian mirror. It's actually frowned upon between 2 Malian players if they see a military unit before Castle Age.
I remember seeing, I think it was Puppy, like the first week maybe, tried to do Farimba in the Mali mirror, and it just, at first it looked kind of good, like he had a timing, and then it just didn't. And the cow boom showed how effective, how many units it can just push out so quickly. And then from there, it's just, you can't ever go back from it, looking at that game.
Yeah. Overall, looking at the build, I can't help but feel like DeMu is playing this one a little bit cleaner. Just from the execution of it at the moment. The upgrades so far, they came in a little bit quicker. Yeah, the cattle are in the ranches a little bit earlier. So a slight advantage I would account here for DeMu so far.
Yeah, for sure. DeMu's already at 5 cows inside, and MarineLorD just got his 3rd. He is dropping the military, the very frowned upon buildings that you were talking about.
Yeah, it's definitely gonna get him some minus points then during this game. But yeah, I guess it makes sense. You can go for military buildings here, and you can make military early on, because we talked about earlier javelins counter javelins, and that persists in the Castle Age versus Feudal Age as well. Like Feudal Age javelins still have a very low number of javelins that you need to hit until you're able to one-shot the enemy javelins.
I love the timing.
Even with upgrades.
I love the timing that when MarineLorD drops his production. It's like right as the scout from DeMu pulls back away. Why? Because the scout of MarineLorD was burning down one of those houses and just being annoying. And first Donzo moving across will get some good annoyance and delay on those houses or pit mines and whatnot. Scout sees it, and let's see what DeMu's reaction is going to end up being. He already has an archer.
Is making us an archery range. Double archery range. I like the play. You just want to have more javelin numbers than your opponent. Javelins can deal fine with enemy donzos, but you gotta have more if you want to deal with the enemy javelins.
Yeah, and that's where he definitely will be able to outproduce that, at least for the time being. This will delay up castle ages that both players want to get to, but DeMu, we talked about it. He's already ahead in the cow boom game. He's ahead in that overall boom so far. Gets a little bit of some shivs out with his villagers, because why not, and pulls back the low health Vil.
Can't help but pity the one Donzo there a little bit. It's like, yo, dude, I'm stabbing you. I got a lance here, I'm stabbing you. Stop ignoring me. Stop ignoring me. And the villager's just like, what do you mean, bro? I'm mining gold here. Don't bother me.
Yeah, just don't worry about us. Javelins are starting to be masked up by DeMu, and you can see MarineLorD looks like he stopped his production a little bit. He's got his group on together. And let's see if these resources start accruing up in the bank here pretty soon for these players.
Yeah. Javelin mass looking good. MarineLorD's javelins only trickling in forward. Now there he is on 3. 4 right now out there. Scout going down. Loses line of sight, but the javelins do have high base line of sight, so he should be fine in that regard. MarineLorD now starting to burn down some of the houses around the pit mine and drops 2 additional archer range. He knows that this matchup is all about the javelin numbers in the end.
Yeah, I mean, you're not really caring about Sofa, anything else. Sofa, maybe once you hit Castle Age, that full cow boom has come into effect with the Grand Filani, but for now, Javelins are that feudal age unit. House gets burnt down, first one. That's just, you know, some annoyance, a little bit of some less gold trickle, but with this many villagers on gold now, that isn't the biggest thing.
Yeah. Behind all of this, DeMu also has just more military production buildings right now. So he should, in theory, be able to pull ahead when it comes to the military units on the field, and he has done so. Question is now, who is going to be the first one to go to Castle Age? And honestly, in my opinion, you just got to keep producing units the entire time throughout here in this matchup. Because even if somebody goes to Castle Age, it doesn't really matter too much, because Javelins, as I said many times now, Javelins count Javelins, so even if somebody goes up to the next age, the Javelins are still going to do quite well.
Look at those villagers. They are on berries out there for MarineLorD. Not a good spot, especially if your opponent gets the military numbers, gets some of these military trades. If MarineLorD's struggling on food, that could be a vital point of information, and we do see the first villager get taken out.
Very nice pick there. Also causes idle time there on the economy. I also like that DeMu is not going fully into cow boom. Like, he's not committing all to the cattle ranches. He's also just keeping 2 every now and then for his villagers to feed from. And that is a big difference here when it comes to the economy, to the income. It means the villagers don't have to walk that far out, and they're getting a very good source of income under the TC.
Yeah, that's exactly why we saw MarineLorD have to move out to the berries, and that is what he was punished for. Javelins take down the scout on the other side. We're starting to see some trades. Donzo's moving on forward, but DeMu, he has the numbers. The question is, are they all here for this fight? Trades coming in on either side. It's just so funny looking at these javelins just non-stop trying to chuck those spears.
Ooh, DeMu on the fallback, losing a couple of units, but overall he does have the military advantage here right now. Definitely feels like MarineLorD is trying to hit that next age a little bit sooner rather than later. Could be dangerous here for him if he just chooses to age up behind this, because the mass from DeMu, it keeps building as well behind this, and more archer ranges now being dropped by MarineLorD. He definitely does not want to fall behind in the javelin numbers.
Yeah, and the thing is here is like both players' resources in the bank very similar, but DeMu has more military out. He has more units already, and he's punishing MarineLorD on the other side, starting to burn down the houses, and he's the first one to click up. Grand Filani Corral is on its way while he's burning houses on the other side.
Yeah, at the same time, MarineLorD also clicking up at the same time.
Only
But he's dropped a ton of archery ranges behind this. MarineLorD has like 7 archery ranges out right now. I'm not sure if DeMu can keep up with the incoming like production here. At the same time though, MarineLorD is completely off gold. Completely off gold. Castle Age comes in.
And not only that, the pit mine is about to be burnt down, about to be denied, and DeMu's the first to castle.
That's the wrong upgrade. DeMu's upgrading archers instead of javelins.
Oh no. Oh no. Is he gonna realize?
That's the question. He's upgrading veteran archers. I mean, it's not the end of the world, because as Malians, it goes in twice as fast and costs half the resources. So it's not the end, but
He finishes it for
Yeah.
sure.
yeah. And we talked about it, javelins counter jab, so even without veterancy, doesn't matter too much. But it's gonna be annoying, and the bonus HP definitely would have helped him.
The
So
question,
we're grabbing it yet.
the question is he gonna notice? He might think it's upgraded right now and not notice, but you gotta look at your units, gotta see that they don't get that extra upgrade.
This is gonna hurt a lot. I mean, now he notices. Come on, he has to notice, right? Silver helmets, not silver helmets.
I mean,
It has to be like a glaring thing for him right now.
we're definitely noticing DeMu is starting to lose out some of these units, starting to fall back now. He's got a bunch of resources in the bank, and so does MarineLorD.
I don't think he's noticed, and that really, really hurts him right now.
What?
There he goes. Oh, wait. Huh? Musafati upgrade now?
He's starting to transition into Musafatis.
You can, in theory, do that. There we go. Also upgrades the javelin throwers now. So he has noticed. He still has military at home. And the Musafatis work because they actually deal better with Donzos than other Donzos. They also cost very little resource overall. And you have another unit that you're able to invest gold into, because wood can be quite expensive with these Donzos. They cost 30 instead of 20 wood.
Villagers having to move to a different gold vein as they just mined out that first one. Pit mine stays on it though, continues to produce that passive resources that the Mali love.
Become difficult, I feel like. At the same time, MarineLorD, he's on a javelin-only trip right now. He is making javelins and javelins only, which can work, but I feel like it should only work to a certain degree because there's no bonus damage against anything other than the javelins out right now from DeMu. And we see that he has to retreat, he has to kite back, but on the kite back every now and then, his own javelins are gonna get picked apart by the javelins from DeMu. DeMu, though, has to be careful, has to also micro, has to make sure his units always step up. But the front line, it's getting decimated right now. But the javelin numbers are equalizing.
Yeah, traded away his Donzo for javelins on the other side. The question is, what's the plan with the Musafati? Is he gonna use them as fodder, or is he gonna potentially try to throw a couple small raiding parties into the wood line or gold vein of DeMu or of MarineLorD?
Reno is just trying to relentlessly push right now, even into Stealth Forest, now pulls back. I think he has rebuilt these pit mines that have been taken out earlier. He's getting his gold in again. Income looking good, looking solid for both players, but MarineLorD the only one so far with imams out. Trying to collect the relics. Ooh, attack here from the side though. Army from DeMu a little bit out of position for this fight. He does have the military lead right now. Definitely not looking in a bad position. First relic gets picked up. Second relic, actually, that has been picked up now.
Yeah, just back to back here, but Javelin's pushing forward. Musafati pushing forward as well. Javelin's overkill a ton. Looks like on the side of MarineLorD, and MarineLorD not having the best trades here in these fights.
Yeah, MarineLorD is also going for a sofa switch. Now, sofa switch is scary because the Musafati already counter out the sofas. Javelins also do a good amount of damage to them. Could hurt him in the end quite a bit, but MarineLorD behind all of this, gathering up these relics.
Look at the military count difference, though. MarineLorD has been getting shredded in these trades. He's actually bringing these javelins to pick off his relic that he's trying to secure.
He's gonna lose that one at the very least now. And this also exposes another pit mine that has just been built by him. Steps forward.
DeMu's just doing a much better job of not having his javelins overkill in all of these fights, I feel like. Really spreading out a lot of the aggro, but doesn't want to be hitting houses during these fights. Still able to kill those sofas so fast due to the base damage of the javs. And look at the military numbers just still favoring DeMu over and over during all of these.
Yeah, it's looking good for DeMu right now. The fights are going in to his advantage. Army number from MarineLorD dropping quite a bit right now. And this could become really, really dangerous here for MarineLorD very soon. Destruction value also leading for DeMu. Army value way, way, way ahead. And I don't think that even if MarineLorD switches into sofas now, he can really do anything. because look at the amount of Donzos that are out there right now for DeMu.
Yeah, I feel like that's also one of those like problems when you try to start going horsemen against like English longbows when there's already 30 out. It's like you're too late at this point already too. The swap for DeMu is super easy. He's already got Donzos. He's already got a ton of javelin throwers and can kind of just clear anything that MarineLorD leads with.
Yeah, imported armor also just now coming in for these sofas. He's producing a lot of them. Something I would like to see, DeMu right now, stop clearing the houses, go for the pit mine first, then go for the houses. You have enough, you're going to safely be able to take that down, but just stop the flow of gold income right now for MarineLorD as he's starting to produce more and more really gold-heavy units.
Look at the population difference though. 140 for DeMu compared to 87 on the side of MarineLorD. Looks like MarineLorD's trying to take this fight, trying to take this engagement, but he still doesn't have the numbers here. Reinforcements, Donzos that were out of position a little bit come into play, helping out, and again push MarineLorD back. It's 77 to 28. MarineLorD is getting absolutely gapped right now.
Very much so. I feel like if DeMu just gets a couple of rams out, takes down the production here from MarineLorD, it's over. Oh, reinforcements though, getting caught out. Bunch of the javelins are exposed. There's a couple of Donzos mixed in though. Donzos need to step up here. It's a good bunch of kills there on the reinforcement line, but still so many units out in the front right now for DeMu. There's 3 relics that MarineLorD has, but that is not a big enough relic difference in order to really, like, the army is just too big.
Yeah, the next pit mine's being destroyed, and if DeMu just moves over to that last gold vein, that's going to be the last bit of gold that MarineLorD is on. Not only that, that's the last pit mine that he has out as well. MarineLorD is pop capped with these houses being burnt.
That is absolutely insane from right now. Donzo's able to defend here on the back line. Sofas have to move in further and further. Not finding any value, though.
He's still
the economy
pop-capped.
is protected. And more houses are about to go down.
Sofa finding a decent raid in DeMu's wood line, but only might get a few vills before getting taken down. The last pit mine gets destroyed. I believe one's getting rebuilt on the east, but look, you're about to see MarineLorD's gold income plummet, which is all of these units he's making. They're all gold heavy.
Yeah, and behind that, villager that just want to rebuild gets found out, gets killed. And look at the food income right now for DeMu. He just keeps massing units. He keeps producing. And this fight is also not one that MarineLorD can really take in theory.
DeMu's got 120 military population. MarineLorD's getting tripled right now, and it's not going to get any better at any point in time.
At this point, in theory, DeMu could just run under a TC, just take the most tragic fight possible, and just tell MarineLorD to get out of this game, because this one, I'd be surprised if DeMu doesn't win this one. Look, now he even finds the farms, and with that, I feel like he probably knows that he can just dive in right now.
Yeah, I mean, this is the point where we talked about this series. Every single matchup they've played this year, they've taken games off of each other, and we're starting this series out 1-1 as DeMu looks like he is going to be ending this. He's pushing into the base, pushing onto the cows, onto the farms, and how will MarineLorD equalize and stabilize?
One thing to note though, DeMu doesn't have his entire military here in the front. He's probably gonna have to retreat a little bit here as the Sofas just start pushing in a little bit forward. He still has so many Donzos and Javelins elsewhere, just not right now in the front. He has a huge army in his base actually. Yeah, it's just not where it needs to be. There's a huge army in his base that needs to get pulled forward right now.
I'm confused why it was in his base. I guess it was a little too distracted with the Sofa raid from the other side. But right as this mass starts pushing on forward, he's still been burning down houses this whole time. Pit mine still mostly denied. And as the reinforcements come, MarineLorD immediately has to fall back away.
Yeah, and now the big army comes out. With this, DeMu should be in a position to push out. Look at that MarineLorD trying to rebuild the pit mines, trying to rebuild the houses. But that is just not going to happen. It just means that's more buildings for DeMu to take down.
More buildings to take down, more villagers to fall with it, and just gap is continuing to spread further and further and further. Javelin stepping up nonstop, just chucking those spears, and so are the Donzos. The Sofa are on their last limb. MarineLorD taking the fight and realizes it is over. Game number 2 goes to DeMu. It's a tied up series.
Exactly, 1-1, both mirrors so far. And we talked about at the beginning, DeMu's build just looked a little bit cleaner. He knew his win condition. At the same time, MarineLorD going for the sofas didn't work out quite as well for him. With that, DeMu takes the equalizer, 1-1 right now.
What an exciting series, just kind of one after another, and this third series continuing to live up to its name. You can see the military count for DeMu just went sky high. MarineLorD tried to make the Sofa transition, but it was just too late. He took too much damage early on.
Exactly. And with that, we're going to be going over to game number 3 here now in our third set.
And will it be a third mirror?
I hope not. It's gonna be China versus HRE.
All right. This was a matchup I know we talked about a lot the other week when we casted. It's one we've seen a lot of times. It's HRE kind of has made this men-at-arms push a little bit earlier on than expected, and I feel like it's in part due to the Spanish bros, and it really can put Chinese behind quite a bit.
Yeah, it's like HRE, they got these really, really early men-at-arms going out, and with the early income, HRE can put a lot of pressure onto Chinese. Now, China, they do have the option with that really quick Song Dynasty going for that Barbican. Sometimes I feel like the Barbican is kind of like a trap because you do have to somewhat also make your own units to respond to your opponent's units. You cannot just rely on the Barbican because then your opponent just kind of masses a little bit more and more. And the Barbican, as good as it is for like a deterrent, the actual DPS isn't that big. So when you mass up a lot of the units, suddenly it can become dangerous and it can become a destruction, and gotta watch out for that. China, on the other hand, I feel like if China survives for like the first 9 minutes, that's when the Chinese economy kind of like surpasses the HRE economy, because that's usually when HRE, they chop a little bit too far out from the Archon Chapel, and they don't have the full inspiration bonus anymore.
Yeah, and at that point, China, they don't have one Imperial official. They got like 3 or 4 pumped up, and they're able to gather all that tax gold, able to supervise multiple different locations in their economy that are needed. And like you kind of said, the main key is if they're able to hold some of those men-at-arms push. I do feel like, you mentioned, the Barbican's a bait. If you're jumping in with villagers all the time to get that return fire on the men-at-arms, it takes a lot of time to take those down, and that's idle time you can't really afford, because guess what? You have a whole other economy and a whole other military that you need to be focusing on Holy Island. It's the water, and it is the key to this map.
All right, Holy Island, MarineLorD's home map. Let's see how exactly he's going to play this one out. The HRE so far, I think, have probably been the most popular civilization for Holy Island. I'm quite sure.
Yeah, I mean, immediately, we know Rus is banned, so we can't even talk about Rus, but Rus would have been into contention here. And then there's only really 3 civs. There's 3 civs that come to mind. It's HRE, it's China, and it's English. And the English is kind of a one-off at times. I feel like it's mainly HRE and China.
Yeah, pretty much. These are like the main civilizations. English is a civilization that you do also want to use on Canal. So that immediately makes China and HRE much more popular on that map. And here we go. Game number 3. After our 2 initial mirror games, we got MarineLorD playing the HRE against DeMu's Chinese here on Holy Island.
As expected, both players moving out with villagers and their scout. They want to see where that nearest, closest deep sea fish is to have the most efficient economy possible to start this.
Yeah, it looks like both players couldn't really find it, so they're just placing their dock a little bit in the back. It's going to be fine for both. I think both the deep sea fish are just a little bit outside of the scouting range there. But yeah, once the dock goes up, MarineLorD's going to find it, and he's going to be quite happy about having placed his dock in the back there. Both of them will be. Because if they placed it in the front, they would have been very far away from their fish.
Yeah, exactly. One thing I always focus in on at the start of Holy Island matches is the wood lines. And this is one of those iterations where you have that kind of bump in the back wood line that's closer to the TC. No forward wood line, just this big open area in front of you in between the two bases. So it makes civs like English a little bit less effective with the longbow rush, and maybe HRE a little bit more difficult to get to that back wood line because they got to go all the way around the TC. They don't want to take any hand cannon shots from that Chinese TC.
Looking at the wood position, so sometimes on Holy Islands you get like this position where the main wood line is towards the front of your base. This one is towards the back of the base, which HRE like. But at the same time, their gold is forward, which HRE really don't like. The gold from MarineLorD is very far forward in this one. It's like right towards the middle of the map. Which also means that it can be very easily contested in this one. Now, HRE is usually the aggressor here, so probably not a big thing for MarineLorD to worry about. But if we see something cheeky, potentially like a Barbican rush, which likely we won't, but if we do, it's going to be annoying.
Yeah, and it's one of those that I think not only is it frustrating to have a forward gold, the real drawback point here as well is that gold's not going to be inspired by the chapel. You're dropping your chapel on your wood line in this match. Like you need your wood inspired. And so in order for your gold to be inspired, you got to invest in another prelate.
Exactly. So it's quite expensive to have your gold inspired at that point in time. Now, something that he does have is a stone which is very nicely positioned. If it gets to that point and he needs a second TC, or if he needs a keep, he can have that inspired by the chapel. But on this map, that is not usually a position that you want to be in anyways.
Yeah, sometimes you'll see a little bit of stone gathered for those dock emplacements. If you drop like a somewhat forward dock, it's a really easy point to fall back to. But now we're kind of seeing this point in the game where they've gotten a lot of the scouting done. And what do both these players do? They start to be aggressive on either villager that builds the dock. It makes it harder to drop that second dock or even third dock. And speaking of second dock, MarineLorD already building his on up. Being the HRE, having that extra inspired eco earlier makes it a lot easier to do.
Yeah, lots of wood income early on for the HRE means they're able to place that dock just much quicker. Also produce a lot of fishing ships early on. In the meantime, we got the inspiration-ish, the supervision from the Chinese. Means they're getting 20% bonus wood. Which is quite nice because in theory, like the HRE, they're chopping through their wood lines like 40% faster. Meanwhile, the Chinese, they chop as fast as any other civilization, but they're getting 20% more wood out of it. They're quite a bit more effective there for the Chinese.
Yeah, you're really like saving yourself. You're just creating wood out of thin air is essentially what you're doing over here.
Yeah, it's essentially like the same bonus that the Rus get, which is quite strong, which is why it makes them like an S-tier civilization when it comes to eco as well.
Yep, villager getting down to where it's starting to need to be pulled back here in the near future, and both of these players have made that transition to gold, so we're gonna see feudal age drop in just a few seconds.
Looking at the fishing eco, it looks like MarineLorD has a lot more fishing ships out right now in comparison to DeMu. Probably just because of that second dock. Looks like there's like a 2 fishing ship difference right now.
Yeah, 11
fishing ships. That's a lot compared to 9 fishing ships. So yeah, 2 fishing ship difference right now for MarineLorD. And A-Job is going to be coming in now. Ark and Chapel, 6 villagers on that one.
And it is tucked up next to that stone and right up next to that wood line that he hasn't really, the part that he hasn't depleted yet. And at the same time, Imperial Academy being built, but 9 villagers seems like a very aggressive number as the Chinese. I feel like 5 would have had like the same effect. Like, yes, he wants this to go down quick, but shoo, that is a lot.
I'm not quite sure what exactly he's hoping out of building it that quickly. Like Galley is probably all junk. It's not going to be in time. to really do a lot of damage there before the first Hulk is going to come out from MarineLorD. I have to wait and see what exactly he's going to be going for. Could go another fast Imperial official. But he does spot out the barracks coming out right now from MarineLorD.
And this is exactly what I was kind of talking about pre-game. It's like you expect those few men-at-arms to come out and be aggressive into your opponent's economy, whether it's the gold, whether it's the wood line. It's very hard to deal with those immediately, and it causes investment into land, which they don't want to be investing into land right now. They want to be investing into water.
Exactly. Predator jumped inside the Archon Chapel. Inspiration on all the villagers. Double Brodex coming in for both players. Immediately completed for DeMu with the supervision.
Ooh, and the stables is already out for DeMu. The thing is MarineLorD, he's not producing men-at-arms. He's producing a few spears and has a sprinkled ship that is coming out, I believe.
And DeMu, not yet a ship in the queue. It's quite confusing right now what exactly he's going for. Galleys now coming out. Needs to get a sprinkled ship in queue as well, though. More spearmen being produced at the same time by MarineLorD. And you can really see, like, early on, the income for HRE, it's quite good. It's quite good on all-around resources. DeMu, though, also getting a lot of wood income right now. So could also just make an archery range and produce a couple of archers to defend here.
Yeah, and the benefit for DeMu here with the horsemen is like those spears, yeah, they can just move forward and he can just react like you said with archers, which he already has one built, already queuing one up, and the horsemen can just try to idle out eco, be annoying, pull those spearmen all around the map.
Exactly. Wood income still looking good right now for both players here. Spearmen do aggress, but archers already in position, able to react. Lots of tax income also coming in passively for DeMu, so he does have a good amount of gold income. Ship-wise, both players pretty equal right now. Now, first men-at-arms in queue.
Yeah, and this is going to be the point where once the militaries get a little bit bigger, it becomes very difficult to micro on land and onto the sea as well, and you really need to do so. This is that first horseman raid I was talking about. It's just one single horseman, but look at the effect it's already causing.
Yeah, a lot of idle time there. Prelude also getting pulled. MarineLorD has to be careful with that one. If that one gets sniped by the horseman, he can't heal himself, then it's gonna be a lot of lost efficiency there. Oh, has to be careful though. Spearmen do engage, get some hits off. Horseman has to retreat.
Yeah, that horseman race proved to be somewhat effective, you know, just caused some idle time, caused some annoyance, some reaction, and looks like DeMu's planning on circling around with those few archers he made and maybe going to do that exact same thing and dive in on that wood line again.
MarineLorD also investing into archers here as the HRE. It looks right now like both players are just playing the land game, not at all caring about water, but at the same time, DeMu is investing into water, is getting a good amount of ships out right now. This is a very even game so far. No Song Dynasty yet though for DeMu, but I don't think he really needs it for quite a while in this game.
I feel like, again, I feel like Song Dynasty is a big bait. It's a big, like, it's one of those, like, you're not only, like, yes, you're giving yourself this eco boost, but it's like building a second TC. It's a timing payoff, and it takes a lot of time. You're spending more resources into those villagers that you're building faster, and sometimes you just need to continue doing what you're doing. Here are these archers and horsemen circling around. As I had mentioned, first villager gets taken down.
MarineLorD army is going to be in position though. At the same time, DeMu pushing forward with his military. Oh, ships getting a little bit body blocked there by each other. Has to be careful with his galleys. Idle time though has been forced. That's a lot of idle time. And he can be happy with that, with the idle time that he's forced. He can just retreat with that now. Set choose to finish off another villager there. And has definitely gotten his worth out of that military there.
Yeah, might even be able to pop that forward sprinkled ship if he's paying attention. Doesn't quite get it. And pulling back with his military. Did lose a lot of military, but won out in the eco denial and eco differences. He wants to extend this game, like you were talking about. China has this point where if the HRE is stronger earlier on, but it gets to a point where China can get to the stronger civ in this matchup with water involved.
The next minute, though, is going to be very, very important here. Because now MarineLorD, he won a big fight. Now he's going to be pushing forward. At the same time, DeMu, he's invested a lot into his water army. He's got 8 Springle ships compared to 4 from MarineLorD right now. And there are 3 demo ships in queue for him. DeMu wants to finish the battle on water right now. He has to be careful, though. Has to be very careful because there's a lot of army. And this is the point in time where I think, okay, Song Dynasty as a defense is now going to be an okay option that you can go for to defend yourself.
It looks like MarineLorD investing into some walls, pushing forward with his military. Archers defending up this first initial push. And DeMu's boats holding for the time being.
DeMu's now pushing forward. Couple of horsemen still trying to cause some idle time, but MarineLorD, he is pushing into the base right now from DeMu. Demo there and the top side.
Oh!
Explode itself onto demo ships. So they're a little bit weak, but that's not the biggest issue here. That's a lot of Springle ships right now. Actually, both players having a lot of Springle ships. More demolition ships coming in. That's 6 demo ships right now. Where are the galleys? The galleys are there in the front. Has to pull back. Doesn't have any demo ships in his own queue right now. If these Springle ships get sniped, the demos connect. Oh, only 1 remaining. First demo connecting. Not getting the biggest value, but has forced him all the way back into his base. At the same time, what's happening in Demu's base? Archers pushing further forward.
Pushing further forward indeed. Springled ships non-stop just standing in front of those docks, but the fishing ships get the help and reinforcements. Archer battle under the wood line. There's some men-at-arms to still be tanky, some villagers, some IOs going down, and DeMu looks like he is losing out on that front side. He pushed too far forward. Now his wood line's getting denied. Can't send his reinforcements in fast enough. MarineLorD wins the battle on 2 fronts. But
this is gonna hurt DeMu. He has a lot of food remaining in the bank, but no wood, no gold to spend it on, as he's just been denied a lot of the resource there. He's gonna get his wood economy going again. He has a lot of food income. But what is he gonna make now? He has to defend on water now as well. There's a lot of hulks in queue right now for MarineLorD. MarineLorD, he just lost a lot of his army there in the base of DeMu though. Could this be another back and forth now between the 2 players? They do need the gold again, or at least DeMu needs the gold again right now.
yeah, it was one of those that DeMu lost the forward push, but he won. Both defenders won the battle. The defender on water was MarineLorD who won. The defender on land was DeMu who won. But Eco's favoring DeMu just a little bit at this point in time. So can he remass up quicker? Can he boom back up and get the mass he needs to hold on water too?
It's gonna be a question, but I feel like MarineLorD, he's out for blood when it comes to water. Look at that. 9 Springle chips, 3 more in queue. Now DeMu, he has a couple of demos out right now, but he's gonna need more than 3 against the mass of Springle chips that MarineLorD is preparing right now.
Yeah, we also saw how effective MarineLorD was in that last fight of splitting his ships, not allowing those demos to prove to be, too effective in that mass.
MarineLorD still remassing over there as well. Aegis could potentially be coming in soon for DeMu, but he has to be careful. If he ages up and doesn't have enough on water to immediately fend, this could really, really hurt him. He needs to be able to immediately get an upgrade there on water on his ships if he wants to deal with the amount of units that MarineLorD has on water right now. Or maybe he just ages up, completely forgoes water, and just goes for like mass knights, but the army is getting cleaned up. Astronomical Clock Tower is going to be coming in now.
Oh, this is looking scary. Yes, he's going up to castle. He's going to be that first one with the timing. But as you've been mentioning, MarineLorD's investment into the water has been heavy, to say the least. And as anyone's reaction is, once they hear Castle Age finish, they immediately push forward with their military because they know their opponent invested in the more.
MarineLorD canceling buildings, now going for barracks instead. Not sure if that was the plan all along, but he's rolling with it now. Aegis comes in and immediately the Navy mobilized, but at the same time, upgrades coming in for DeMu. Water upgrades only take 30 seconds to complete. There is a window for DeMu to get these upgrades in and potentially win a fight here. HP upgrade, armor upgrade, as well as the attack speed and range upgrade coming in. This is going to be a tough one. Also getting extra hammocks. Oh, this is going to be very, very timing based here. That's a big fleet coming in from MarineLorD. Is he going to see it? Is he going to see it? Is he paying attention? Demo ship's getting rinsed right now.
Yeah, DeMu took the fight a little bit earlier than needed. I feel like he should have played just the defensive battle, wait for MarineLorD to overstep. He's trying to take some trades, but MarineLorD, yes, DeMu has the tech advantage, but MarineLorD has the numbers, and not only the numbers on the sea, but also the land pushing forward into DeMu's base.
Now DeMu has the fight, has to take the fight here, has to run away with his units, with the villagers from the wood line. He might be in a position to win the water, but he's going to lose a lot on land. Another Imperial official goes down. Is DeMu making any knights right now? He's making a Nest of Bees. Nest of Bees could help a lot here, but the villagers are exposed. Couple could go into the village, but there's a lot that are going to be sniped out now. That is going to hurt a lot. Lots of villagers went down, and the economy is now pretty much equal between the two players.
Watch the income per minute just taking an absolute dive. DeMu knows he needs to do something, and that something is deny MarineLorD's water in the game on water, since he knows that's where his tech advantage is. But does MarineLorD have enough numbers to hold this? Still microing on land at the same time. DeMu trying to clear out all of these ships, but not even taking the best trades here.
There are almost 20 Springald ships, but there's only 10 Springald ships from DeMu. For MarineLorD, it is really tough, even with the tech advantage right now, to win this fight.
Yeah, it's one of those, like, think about 20 archers versus 10 archers. Even if the veteran sees through, the 20 is still going to take out quite a bit just because of the numbers that they have. And MarineLorD is equalizing on Castle Age. Regnant's Cathedral, 25 villagers, and relics on this map, there's a lot. Oh,
Yeah, there's a total of 1, 2, 3, 4. Actually, only 5 this time.
yeah, there's usually, yep, okay, there's 5 relics.
Sometimes
All
there's
right.
6, sometimes it's 5.
Yeah.
So, yeah, sometimes it do be like that.
Even still, easily 3 securable for MarineLorD on the near proximity to his base. And once those start getting into the bank, your just resource, your income per minute just becomes so easy. Gold, you don't have this kind of worry as much getting denied off of gold because you're always getting this massive trickle in.
Gotta say, though, behind all of this, DeMu isn't too far after all of the damage he took there. When it comes to the economy, still quite even, actually. Wood income actually leading by a mile.
Yeah, this is the point though where things start to try to equal out. He does have 2 horsemen immediately hitting the prelate before it even reaches the relic. Look at the timing from DeMu.
At the same time, also going for his own monk. This means that now MarineLorD is going to have to pull army back in order to deal with these couple of horsemen, which gives DeMu the opportunity to go for his own relics.
Yeah, could potentially snag over a few away from MarineLorD. Just allowing MarineLorD to only secure 2 rather than 3 is a massive victory.
Has to be careful though. Horsemen do pull back. First relic is going to get secured now by DeMu. Upgrades on water though coming in for MarineLorD now as well. Water numbers not quite equal yet, but DeMu has a couple of additional demo ships coming out now. It's going to be a difficult trade for both players here coming in, and now MarineLorD pushing forward both on water and on land at the same time.
17 Springald ships versus 20. DeMu doesn't have a ton of land military. He's transitioning into some crossbows, but the spears and archers are on the way over to his base, and he doesn't have everything needed there other than a nest of bees is his saving grace.
Now, Nest of Bees can make a big difference here, but it's not going to be enough in order to secure him a relic, and that's going to be 3 relics now for MarineLorD. Fight about to happen out now. There's a ton of demolition ships out on the side for DeMu. If he gets good connections in there, it's going to be really tough. I'm not sure. Did he grab the upgrade for the demo ships? There's an upgrade which increases the range by like 20%, the explosion radius, which is absolutely huge in Castle Age. If he gets that, then the connections can be very strong.
I assume with that many demos he did, but you never really know until the fight happens.
It's a rare upgrade to get. You rarely see it, so I wouldn't be surprised if he didn't grab it. It looks like he grabbed... Yeah, he grabbed it. He grabbed it. He got the upgrade in. There are 2 upgrades for the demo ships, and he grabbed the one.
Palace of Swabia on its way for MarineLorD, though. He's going up to Imperial Age right as DeMu is starting to push forward. Demo ships moving forward from either side. MarineLorD only has a few, but DeMu has a ton. They're pushing, they're choke holding some of the ships. First explosion comes in, next explosion comes in. Main mass of MarineLorD wasn't front and forward, though. 17 Springald ships for 17 Springald ships.
More demo ships, though, are on the way for DeMu. The micro so far on these demo ships, it hasn't been the greatest, but we do see from the bonus range there, it does make a big difference there on the demo ships. And it feels like water for MarineLorD might get completely cleaned up here now.
But at the same time, he has that military mass diving the wood line of DeMu right as this fight's happening, forcing DeMu to micro on 2 different fronts, but more demo ships are coming on in, and a plenty of them in reinforcements.
First might connect here. There were a couple of villagers that did go down, but it wasn't the worst trade right there. Overall, though, water is going down there for MarineLorD. Going down and dying quickly.
The benefit for MarineLorD, though, he has Swabia, so he will be able to equalize the eco count and actually skyrocket ahead on the eco count. But if there's one thing I know, if you control water on this map, you can start doing some things in water, such as water trading and a lot of different things if needed.
Yeah, this is going to be quite nice now for DeMu that he's able to take the water control. It does help him quite a bit now. Just needs to finalize the fight here. With that water control, he is now in a good position. MarineLorD doesn't have any military left on land. Like, he just lost so much income from the fishing ships all going down. MarineLorD is dead. I think MarineLorD might actually be dead. If DeMu is able to push immediately now, MarineLorD is completely dead.
Yeah, he has no food. He has to move out to berries, has to move out to deer, but those are pretty finite resources. He's having to produce out of his TC, out of Swabia, and needs to produce military to hold this push. It's 25 crossbows. Palace guards are coming as well. And, I mean, DeMu behind this should be able to have an Imperial Age timing if need be, but for now, he could probably just end the game.
Stay castle. Just stay in Castle Age. You don't want to go up to the next age. Now we see a keep being rushed by MarineLorD, which kind of confirms that he's weak right now. He needs a keep to defend himself. If DeMu is able to push from the sides where the keep isn't, he can win the game. He can end it out right there.
And look at this. DeMu immediately focuses in. Where's he go? It's right over to the deer. The forward keep, though, should get finished. Gets finished quite quickly, but doesn't really secure up too much more food. It just secures up his gold.
Spearmen are going to be enough there in order to secure that keep from going up. A couple of villagers get taken down, but that's not important because of the Swabia. Just needs to focus on the military. Needs to get his own couple of rams out. But it looks like DeMu is also looking for Imperial Age right now. He's not producing that many more units. He probably doesn't know how weak MarineLorD is exactly, else he would just immediately produce a ton of military and just try to end the game.
Yeah, I mean, MarineLorD is definitely struggling heavily now. Obviously, the military numbers don't tell the true story here, as the 76, there's a ton of that on the sea. But even still, MarineLorD has made a huge farm transition behind this. He's trying to fast build an outpost, gets spotted out by DeMu. And these crossbows, great split. Able to get a lot more damage out on these, able to pick off a couple more villagers, take down a couple vills running away from the farms. So just making Swabia a little less effective. And behind this, DeMu, he's about to hit that Imperial Age button himself.
And MarineLorD, he doesn't have the stone income right now in order to make it bombard emplacements. These are only sprinkled emplacements. Sure, they still hurt, but they don't nearly hurt as much. I'm not even sure if he's gotten tithe bonds, and yet he definitely has the gold for it. And with the amount of relics he has, it would definitely help him quite a bit now. And he's only got Spearmen and Landsknechte coming in. DeMu about to click the Imperial Age. Though I would have really just wished that he would stay in Castle Age in this one. But there we go. Great Wall Gatehouse going up in the middle of the map.
A couple more vills get taken out as well on those farms. MarineLorD, you could tell how much he's struggling from this food. DeMu can as well. Crossbows, such a good trade-off that they've been having. Great Wall Gatehouse almost halfway, I'd say. And a little bit of a Spearman mass is starting to push forward, but DeMu easily has the ability to counteract that spearman push.
Yeah, he can just make additional archers, additional crossbows, some palace guards, and he should be fine in that regard. But the spearmen could be hitting him in an annoying timing. And there they do come in. DeMu should be seeing this right about now. Does he pay attention to it? He does. Villagers get pulled. Imperial Age coming in. Villagers running for safety now.
Look at how much wood DeMu has. I feel like he just needs to have a full granary transition really quick, and all of a sudden, his food income's going to be through the roof.
Yeah, could definitely go for it. But he really needs to get something going against the military force from MarineLorD because it has been building. MarineLorD knows that he just needs military out right now. And he is getting a lot of military units out. DeMu is pulling back, so his crossbows numbers should soon be able to return to help him with this battle here. Hand Cannoneers coming out, and Hand Cannoneers is a good unit, a very good unit for the Chinese here to be making.
Yeah, those late game hand cannoneers for China, they're just one of those good against everything units. There is not just only spearmen there, there's one single land snake, so you see DeMu have that spread formation in play, and oh my, MarineLorD pulls out the culverin to try to start taking down some of that fishing eco. Or military.
Yeah, but this also means that MarineLorD is probably trying to go back out on water right now. And he is. He's making docks again. And this comes at a bad timing because DeMu invested a lot right there into water trade. He's trading on water. He's getting gold and wood from there. This could hurt him quite a bit. But in theory, DeMu has the best carracks, or rather the best cannon ships in the game. He has the bow chunks, which also have a nest of bees and placement on them. He gets those out. There is no way in the world that MarineLorD is going to really able to like take back water.
Yep, and he spots out the dock at this point. He has I think he has a Balchad there already, and I hear the nest of bees in placement. Immediately takes down that dock before anything's able to come out. Water trade is still secured.
Exactly. Culverin still being annoying though, killing a couple of the ships. Barbican of the Sun now coming out here. Not needed, but there it is. It's coming.
Hey,
Song Dynasty really isn't needed.
Song Dynasty,
yeah.
Woohoo!
Yay! Faster production, 200 pop. Yay!
I'm already at 200 pop, but you know, just in case it's needed, and I'm also investing in a water trade. Nest of Bees, though, we see some split formation come into play, but still just a ton of AoE damage already in play. Crossbows, hand cannoneers going to be a little bit more effective, and that mass got cleared up quite quickly. And there's the granary.
Yeah, Horseman now also coming out from MarineLorD. MarineLorD has a good amount of food income, actually. A farm transition was successful for him. Has remassed completely now on land. Is now also starting to pressure on the Great Wall Gatehouse with a lot of trebuchets. Even getting more and more food income, more and more farms out there. It's going to be tough to deal with, and MarineLorD is just completely solidifying his position right now on land. Food income is looking quite a bit better than DeMu's right now. Not sure if DeMu has already... Oh, that's a big shot. 2 big shots, actually. Lots of units going down.
I mean, again, so much AoE damage able to get out, and the hand cannoneers, the crossbows, they clean everything up easily. I think DeMu lost 1 unit that fight.
Yeah, DeMu didn't lose a lot there. Did clean up a lot of the units there, but it was only a small troop from MarineLorD, and with the HRE, you're used to pumping out a ton of units, and there we go. Lots of units still out for MarineLorD, still producing a lot more. That's a wall that DeMu wants to build, but it's not one that he's gonna be able to get up with the keep being there in position. It's gonna have to pull these units back, gonna have to pull these villagers back. Villagers just gonna go down here now. Yeah, this is gonna be a late game battle here. Villagers on the stone have to evacuate.
I'm getting scared for DeMu. There's 5 trebuchets out on the other side. The Great Wall Gatehouse, the keeps, they're going to be worthless at this point. They're all just going to get wiped, and there is a huge Horseman Spearman mass, and DeMu still doesn't have the mass on the land that he needs.
Imperial Palace also getting rushed up for some information, but right now what DeMu needs is just Palace Guards. DeMu just needs a lot of barracks and then a lot of Palace Guards right now.
Another great Nesta B shot. I mean, that's the only thing I feel like keeping DeMu from being even further behind and actually having, you know, a tilt to MarineLorD in this game. But having water, it still feels great for DeMu, but he needs to transition this into land. Look at his resources he has. 4,000 wood, 2,000 stone, but where's the military?
Exactly. Also, the bow chance, they do take up a lot of pop space, right? It's like 6 or 8 per Baochan. So having 2 of those out actually reduces his population by quite a bit right now. Needs to be careful with those. Yeah, there's one of them. Horseman raids also coming in. This becomes really dangerous. DeMu, he has a ton of stone right now. Maybe like a stone wall right now would also have him lot. Does have his units in position in order to deal with the Horseman raid. Very, very nice reaction there from him. Gets a stone wall up there towards the front, but it's 2 large gold mines secured right now by MarineLorD. DeMu, though, has the trade going, so not in the worst position. Yeah, definitely has to do something about these trebuchets here at some point in time.
And look at the gold control by MarineLorD. He's got keeps in the southeastern side. He's sieging down the middle. This is the last bit of gold for DeMu. And we all know that Chinese is a very gold-heavy civilization. He's only going to have to rely on his water trade for that gold, which it's not like this is, you know, full map regular trade. It's 61 per trade ship.
Yeah, fiery route. So it's not the worst, not the best, but overall it's quite nice that it also gives wood, so it gives like 2 resources at the same time. It's 120 resources per trip, which obviously is quite nice. Lots of rams also coming out for DeMu, so he is reinvesting his wood right now. But it's a very large army right now coming out from MarineLorD, and there's not enough palace guards. I want to see like 30 palace guards out here from DeMu right now. It's just not there quite yet. Culverin getting sniped by the hand cannoneers. Nest of Bees in position, getting a lot of damage out. Villagers also in position to body block if need be.
Horsemen get the circle, get the first nest of bees taken down. They actually choose to fall back, trying to clear up some of these rams that were further forward. And look at the amount of vills for DeMu.
Count. DeMu, just get more palace guards out, please. I beg you. Couple of spearmen coming out right now as well for the front line, but these are still feudal age spearmen. Castle age upgrade coming in now. The rams are just a distraction, it feels like right now. Just getting more and more of these out. The hand cannoneers is the real gamekeeper here right now for DeMu. The bonus range on these hand cannoneers, it just adds so much value to the Chinese army here right now. With that, he's able to take some really good trades here for now. But he needs a way to push in. He needs a front line. He needs palace guards for that.
Yep. The Rams are providing so much of annoyance. The Rams basically are being that front line for now, but how long can they continue to do so? Will MarineLorD be able to kind of mass back up, clear these up fast enough? He doesn't have the culverins anymore. Horsemen diving on forward. Spread formation.
MarineLorD. Spread formation running in. Nest of Bees is going to get surrounded here in a little bit. DeMu has to sacrifice that Nest of Bees now. And there's a lot of Landsknechte as well. That could really hurt DeMu if those come in. MarineLorD doing the right thing here with the army, but at the same time has to sacrifice his own keep. Keep is going to go down with that relic income, is going to get denied.
Like so many rams there, but if a few, yep, there you go. The melee units start getting around. The pathing gets really weird. It's hard for the rams to start getting onto the next targets before getting taken down. And that's a lot of just wood just being thrown right on away. Hand cannon mass has basically stayed the same for the past couple minutes. Hasn't really been able to get above the 25 or so mark.
Yeah, just the front line is missing. And look at that, DeMu, 4,000 food in the bank right now. Just get some palace guards. Appreciate it. Oh, Great Wall Gatehouse wasn't finished repairing. Immediately gets reduced to rubble again by the trebuchets in the back. Spearman now Imperial Age. Able to provide a decent front line here. Nest of Bee has been remade.
Yep, trying to be the best front line as possible. Mangonel's able to get shots off on the hand cannoneers if they moved up, not deciding to do so. DeMu not able to gather that gold, so all the vills on the gold get taken down. But MarineLorD has to fall back away. His main frontline horseman mass, it got cleared up once the spears started to arrive from DeMu.
I mean, to be fair, DeMu can be happy about losing a couple of these villagers. Has to be careful there. There's still a lot of Landsknecht out there. Cannot dive in too far forward. But yeah, losing a couple of these villagers, he still has 1,600 gold per minute income just from the water trade. He's good there. He's good in the department. He just needs a bigger front line. If he gets a big front line going, there is not a ton that these Horseman Landsknecht combo can really do.
Oh no, villagers. There's 2 mangonels. There's 2 mangonels. Oh!
Ooh, MarineLorD is distracting him. Villagers are gonna get killed. Has to pull back. Keep might need to be cancelled here. Army gets split up. Keep now gets built. Finish building. Hand cannons are gonna be able to take down the mangonels. Mangonels get taken down. That's still a lot of rams here, and that forward keep might get taken down again. Spearmen are in position to secure the resources from DeMu.
Yeah, those Shrebs kind of feel somewhat worthless at this point. They've done a great job what they needed to get done, taking down the keeps, taking down the Great Wall Gatehouse, some of those landmarks, but need to get some more useful military out on the field unless, there we go, they start taking down these siege workshops, this next keep that provides protection for DeMu's next gold.
Landsknecht getting some really, really good hits in against the Rams. Haven't been contributing too much in the actual fight so far, but definitely helping a lot when it comes to protecting MarineLorD's eco right now. Or rather, his defenses.
Horsemen
now there's
still
a lot
circling.
of spearmen. There's a lot of spearmen out on the field right now. Like the thing is, spearmen die quite. Oh, this could be really bad. DeMu spots it potentially though. Handcans have a good amount of line of sight. Baochan, there's still a Baochan out on the map. He doesn't spot it. It's so close. Now he sees the keep.
This is going to be so difficult for DeMu, though, if he starts getting all of his water trade, everything on his water denied. It might not be what he was ready for. Trebuchets starting to get chased down by those spears. I believe the rest of those Trebs will get taken out. And MarineLorD's forward army, it might actually get taken out as well.
Who has to be careful, though, with the Landsknechte. They do catch up to the hand cannoneer. He's pushing in quite a bit, quite deep in there. All the hand cannons are getting taken down. Kills the trebuchets, but loses so many hand cannons there. Kills the mangonel as well, hopefully at least. Doesn't kill, kills the mangonel. Oh, but he lost so many hand cannons there. And now, at this point in time, MarineLorD might just go for another aggressive push here. He's just putting up docks everywhere. What is going on there?
I mean, I guess he can start getting dock emplacements too if needed, or just drop another keep, another outpost. The Balchat gets taken down by the keep that is in the middle of the water. And you know what I've seen people do is drop an outpost on the sacred site spot in the middle, and he could also start, you know, capturing that, but that would deny all water trade as well.
DeMu now also investing into his own Carax, and now the trade on water is gonna be denied. Potentially, and that's gonna be very, very deadly for DeMu because he doesn't have any additional gold income other than this trade so far. Horseman also diving in at the same time. He's just being raided from so many different sides, and MarineLorD being absolutely on point in this game with the micro everywhere. Now the Rams coming in. I just want to see the Rams just take down the docks from MarineLorD.
Horseman, though, able to get on the back wood line. Not the biggest deal because DeMu still has a ton of wood in the bank. Could use some extra military out on the field, but these are still trades that MarineLorD is benefiting from in the long run. He's splitting different control groups everywhere. Looks like DeMu's trying to full commit to deny that water, and he already has Horsemen ready to take down the rest of these Rams that are transitioning over.
Rams, though, coming in time, actually killing the dock before a unit gets produced out of it. Still, Baochan's really, really expensive. DeMu having to make a couple of them in order to secure the water trade. Has secured the bottom eco now. The Landsknechte, just the Landsknechte. It's so insane how much damage these Landsknechte are actually doing here in these fights. Against the Rams as well, actually being a good unit against the Rams with the AoE damage as well. Absolutely doing their job there.
This is a crazy, crazy back and forth. You know, they're just having to balance so many different things, so many different raids. And yet again, DeMu coming forward with Rams in this middle, has his Spearman, has his Hand Cannoneer mass. able to push back these horsemen very well. Horsemen just diving straight into spears.
Loses a lot there, but oh, the Lanzknechte! This could be, oh my god. DeMu has to react to that. DeMu has to react to that. If that happens, if the melee mangonels come in, that is gonna be absolutely deadly there. There's a big red blob in the back of DeMu's base, but his attention might just be stretched a little bit too thin here. He does realize Lanzknechte do take a couple of units out, but it looks like DeMu is gonna be able to react to that in time. At the same time though, military-minded frontline is faltering a little bit. Couple of hand cannoneers are there. Oh, but they might get taken down by the Lanzknechte. DeMu's just getting spread so thinly here. Yes, they did get taken down, and now MarineLorD is on the economy there, on the farm eco.
Yeah, and look at the water. There's no longer this giant blue trade line because MarineLorD has cut it off deadly in the center. DeMu is struggling. He's bleeding units. He was at max pop for so long. Now he's sitting at 130, 135, continuing to drop. His frontline military mass has horsemen starting to surround, get on top of those hand cannoneers. This is not looking good for DeMu.
MarineLorD, where has he been getting so much gold from? These Lanzknechte, it's insane how many he's been producing. And DeMu calls GG. All his economy went down, and with that, MarineLorD, after losing water, wins the game with the HRE. Absolutely incredible.
That is absurd. There were so many, it felt like there were so many close opportunities on either side, but somehow MarineLorD pulls through and shows that you don't need water to win.
You need a Swabia instead. But yeah, look at the villager count. Imperial Age comes in, and suddenly that villager graph exploded. Just so many raids going on, and the water take back there from MarineLorD, killing DeMu's economy on water. It felt like there was a great timing there. Great timing for DeMu, but he didn't know what we know with the Observer UI. We know everything in the game that's going on. He didn't know how weak MarineLorD was as soon as he hit that Imperial Age. Instead, he went for his own Imperial Age. If he just stayed Castle Age, I feel like he could have just overrun MarineLorD there with that timing, and it was close. It was really, really close. I feel like if DeMu rewatches that one, he's going to see it as well, that there was this really, really gaping timing there that he could have absolutely exploited and killed MarineLorD off right then. It's a tough one, but MarineLorD managed to do it. He managed to hold on to it, just spam out units the entire time. The Lanzknechte did absolutely an amazing job there for him, and he wins the game with that.
Yeah, and the crazy thing is, this is just game number 3 of this best of 5. So now we're about to be heading into this 4th game. MarineLorD is up 2-1. This time the map is regions. So another map that we kind of talked about with this, I would say more of this aggressive civilizations that you'll see a lot taking the middle control, but China not really fitting exactly into that narrative, but can fit into a lot of different roles.
Yeah, China can definitely adapt to a lot of situations. I think China overall is probably going to be quite nice here. Ottomans, it's going to be a difficult one. It's going to be a difficult one because China has a lot of answers to stuff like the Janissaries. Like, China isn't really a cavalry civilization anyways. They don't really need cavalry. They got really, really fast palace guards. So I think China is probably just favored unit-wise here against the Ottomans. A lot of it is going to come down to siege play as well, which China also have advantages to. Like, Ottomans get free siege, China gets tankier siege. Gold control also really important, but China do still have that passive trickle. It's going to be an interesting one for sure. We're going to be seeing it really, really soon though, because it's just about happening. Only a couple of seconds left until we're right into our game number 4 here.
Yeah, the key here is I feel like China will want to play into China's narrative, where Ottomans, they have 2 different spots. They can go into feudal or they can go into that castle, but usually both are very militaristic and aggressive. So jumping on in to game number 4, will MarineLorD be able to take the series, or will DeMu tie it up and take this to a final game number 5?
It's going to be the question here. Best of 5 and match point now for MarineLorD. DeMu can be quite good with Ottomans, but China is also such a solid civ for MarineLorD. MarineLorD, though, has said previously that he thinks China at the moment is not as good as it used to be. So it could be interesting to see what exactly he will pull off here. I mean, the third game could have potentially tilted DeMu. I hope that he's still in it with all his heart. But we will see. Game number 4 about to begin. And here we go. As we see MarineLorD in the color red as the Chinese. And on the opposite side, DeMu as the Ottomans.
Yes, and it is MarineLorD up 2-1 in this series. We'll get that swapped in a second. No military school opening coming for the Ottomans. No need to send some of those spears out on the other side. I guess DeMu just knows that MarineLorD has the micro for it, has the knowledge of how to react to that correctly.
Yeah, you can do something called like the tax evasion move as the Chinese, where you just spam drop off resource onto a mill. And you can just go up to the next age with tax income alone. So overall, not going for that immediate military school opening is definitely, I feel like, the right choice here for DeMu.
Yeah, I do feel like, though, sometimes the military school is one that, like, yeah, you might not do something with those first couple spearmen, but at least it's going to continue to produce. It's still going to be there to immediately swap onto whatever unit is needed in feudal. But if you're not going with any feudal age pressure, maybe the idea is just to delay those schools up for other better timings in a sense. Looking at the sheep gathering from MarineLorD, seemed like a pretty nice first circle there by a scout.
Yeah, looking good there for him. I mean, China, there are certain timings that you can definitely use against China. China is very weak to early aggression against their wood lines. If you push onto all right. MarineLorD going for a couple of deer kills here. He's not playing as or playing against the ruse. He just goes for it. Now, there can be a reason behind this. The reason could be that he just doesn't want his opponent to lame his deer, spread out the deer. That can be really, really annoying. So maybe he just instead chooses to lame his own deer for himself.
There you go. I mean, it just kind of could be an idea that shows that he is already prepping to head out to those deer at some sort and just going ahead and getting it out of the way. Has the APM to do so, I guess.
Yeah, I think he already scouted what he needed to scout. Got a good amount of sheep in there early on, and we do see DeMu aging up first with the twin minaret madras. 5 villages on that, so it's gonna be a kind of a fast age up here. Yeah, I think definitely against China, you want to go like really, really pedal to the metal early on against the woodlines. I think if you want to play the boom game, it's probably not gonna end in your favor. It's going to be interesting to see what exactly DeMu is planning here. Does scout out that both of the wood lines are kind of close to each other. So aggression onto them could definitely be an option here.
I love the location of the twin minaret. It just makes it like the southeastern side of the town center is exactly where you want to place it, because that means all your villagers are safe and secure. The closest spot next to your town center can jump inside. It's one thing that I noticed, like players who play Ottomans a lot and think about their base layout, that's where they're always kind of placing their twin minaret.
Age up is now going to be coming in here for MarineLorD. Starts off with the Barbican of the Sun. It's going to be protecting his gold and not his wood line.
And not really the deer either. It's just kind of an awkward spot, I feel like.
I guess it's just if MarineLorD goes for military, then if there's any fights that he doesn't want to take, he can always just kite back into the range of the Barbican. And there we go. MarineLorD going to lame the deer of his opponent here. Spreading them out means that villagers can't effectively gather from them efficiently.
Yeah, basically immediately nullifies the effect of going out to deer. It's like, maybe I should have gone to the berries instead. Makes it a little bit more efficient just because you're not walking a mile in between each deer that you gather.
Yeah. Look at that. Really, really taking his time, making sure these are as far apart from each other as they can be.
Barbican about to be finished here in just a little bit, and you can see by the resources in the bank from MarineLorD, he's gonna do that pretty quick transition into an immediate Song Dynasty, I would assume.
Yeah, it's usually how it goes as a Chinese. You want to get that Song Dynasty in as soon as possible, get a really, really good villager production going. With that, Imperial Academy is going to be coming in now, built by 4 villagers. Not the best Song Dynasty time, but he already has a couple of villagers out on wood, which means that his second TC is going to be coming in at a pretty decent timing.
Yeah, first military school is on its way for DeMu, so that was one of the ones like I was talking about, kind of delayed it up, didn't grab that earlier stone, but now we'll be able to start producing some free units, and looks like he has enough for a second one as well that he is starting to build as we speak.
Second military school coming in. And with that, is DeMu potentially just going for fast castle age, or is he actually going to invest into production early on here? It does look like he's investing into production right away. Goes for some Sipahi.
And that's also what he has the military school set on, is Sipahi. So heavy cavalry focused game early on. He has a scout parked right on that stone. So wants to make sure and see, you know, when MarineLorD's potentially going for a second TC if he is. And fortunately for him, he also scouted out that barracks right as it finished as well.
So he does know that MarineLorD is going to have spearmen in time there. Stable up. Archer range up as well. And now, second TC. Prep is going to be coming in. Lots of villagers moving out to stone.
It's crazy seeing how quick Chinese can transition into different things. Just shows the strength of the IO. It's like, all right, let me send 12 villagers out there real quick, put an IO on it, and boom. All of a sudden, 2 drop-offs on there. And it's like pretty crazy with just the ability to move and transition that so quick. And then all of a sudden, they're going to start building that TC, and it's going to be up before they even blink.
Exactly. Second TC gonna get finished up really quickly. Military now moving across the map. Archers already out there as well. That could definitely influence the TC spot that MarineLorD wants to go for. So MarineLorD has to also invest into a lot of Jugunu now. So that's further delaying the second TC timing here, as he now doesn't have the wood for it anymore.
Yeah, and it's also one of these that the more you start investing into military, into other things, it's delaying this TC. It's also benefiting DeMu's timing, benefiting this aggressiveness, because the more you invest into that, the faster Chinese is going to run out of these food resources and have to move out on the map, which is a lot harder when you've invested into that eco boom.
Exactly. Also means like the uptime or like the upkeep for these TCs is a lot when it comes to the food. So normal TC takes like 150 food per minute to fully have producing all the time. But China, it's 200 food per minute. So 400 food per minute from MarineLorD is just going to be for villagers.
Yeah, makes it very hard to equalize in the numbers. And also, we think about on the other end, DeMu's getting free Sipahi every minute with the military schools. So an even bigger counteraction from the other side. He's saving food with having more military investment as well.
Yeah. Just knowing when to really attack against China is usually a tricky part, but DeMu, look at the resource that he has. By the time second TC finishes, he's going to be in a position to go up to Castle Age.
And this is where it becomes very scary for MarineLorD. Obviously, timing attack will be coming with Ottomans. How's he going to react to it? Where is he going to defend himself? You know, obviously, he just tried to secure that deer location with the secondary TC. But other than that, he's got his deer and he's got his initial back berries, and everything else is forward.
DeMu trying to get some value. Gets an Imperial official, very likely. Goes down. Value gained. A lot of value gained here. Mammoth Imperial Armory now also going to be coming in. And MarineLorD, he is quite far away from H-Up. MarineLorD spots, though, that the H-Up is going to be coming in. Is starting to make a lot of Jugunu. I'm not sure what DeMu could ideally make here right now. I think with all the spearmen that are already there, I would say that Men-at-Arms would be quite nice here. Men-at-Arms, though, can somewhat get countered out by the Jugunu in mass. But the mass isn't there for MarineLorD right now, and that could also help him a lot with idling out the eco, but it is looking to be Men-at-Arms, and now we do see double barracks getting added here by MarineLorD. Also pushing it forward, wants to keep the army from DeMu on his side.
And look at the Sipahi. They're just going to try to pick off some of those reinforcing chooks, and just not allow those to really push forward. And once they do get over to that side of the map, DeMu, he's already castle age. He's going to have a couple knights, a couple men-at-arms already out, or probably not knights, but men-at-arms and some more Sipahi out, and hopefully can clear up this little mass from MarineLorD.
Sipahi just came out from military schools as well. MarineLorD, though, he is not producing any more military. He's just straight going up to the next age, and he's doing so at a very, very rapid pace. And this is kind of where the issue comes in, right? When you go for men-at-arms, they're kind of slow. DeMu might just be missing out on his window here. Additional military schools getting dropped.
An even bigger kind of window you're giving yourself. Those military schools, it takes time for them to start producing those units, and you're just now dropping those. So not really getting this fullest effect of this quicker castle age timing. That being said, he's going to have a flurry of units out, and this is where MarineLorD, just if he is able to punish once MarineLorD starts running out of the food, that's going to be the key that I think.
Yeah, it's going to have to be the main timing. MarineLorD's going to have to start gathering up a lot of wood for a farm transition. And the deer are going to be running out soon. There's not a lot of food remaining on those deer right now. MarineLorD's also keeping a couple of Shuganu here in the back, just waiting for an opportunity to use them for raids. The second DeMu oversteps a little bit. That's when these Shuganu are going to be coming into play. Age up not clicked yet, but about to be happening there. Astronomical clock tower gets dropped. 10 villagers immediately getting on there.
And scouted out, another Imperial official starts to get focused in on. Is that going to be a second one getting taken down? It is.
Good value gained here so far by DeMu. Also gets another villager kill. Able to escape.
And I believe the first couple men-at-arms are now about to start hitting the wood line. And this is such a crucial timing. This is such a crucial point. Even has a few archers here to help take down the spears. And DeMu is starting to push in right as MarineLorD's timing is the most vulnerable.
Right now, I think if he gets his first mangonel out, just use the mangonel, position it behind the wood line, and shoot over the wood line. With, like, ground attack. Actually, there's still a couple of deer remaining. Way more than I thought there would be. Gets a couple additional villager kills there. Jugunu, though, they're using that timing. DeMu, though, is aware of that. Let's be careful with his party numbers, though. Oh, needs to be careful. Jugunu pushing out onto the villagers there.
The men-at-arms are still on the wood line, but at the same time on the other side, Chooks are taking down the deer villagers, and look at the amount of damage that they can put out so quickly.
Only a couple of villagers going down, though. And Jugunu do get cleared up. 3 villagers died. Not the worst, not the worst.
That last bit of berries, the last sheep, looks like it's about to get gathered out. And as we just saw a bit ago, the deer, there were a few more left than we expected, but you never know how much is left on each of those carcasses. And there's the transition we were talking about that was needed.
And it disappeared, and it reappeared again. Granary placement coming in. Transition now on its way. First mangonel, though, also popping out. Just as MarineLorD is investing a good bunch of resources into crossbows.
I feel like DeMu didn't do anything too crazy with his timing. Like, he had a great timing, but then all of his units just died out. And he now is behind in military, and he's behind in the economy, obviously playing against China.
Yeah, it's not looking the best for him right now. But still, quality-wise, he does have the superior army value going from right now with the mangonel. Might be in a position to make something work with that. MarineLorD has to invest a lot of wood right now into his own farm transition. So there's still a timing there for DeMu. The income is going to stall out now a little bit now that all of the deer went away.
Denied one of those monks coming out from MarineLorD, so still a good shot for DeMu to potentially get a 5 relic game. Obviously, the one behind MarineLorD's base is going to be close to impossible to get for him, but can easily see him securing 4.
Agreed. Outpost coming out for MarineLorD as well. Doesn't want to get caught off guard here. Has also walled in his wood lines. And is now pushing out with a military mass there. Bunch of spearmen, bunch of crossbows, Jugunu, and palace guards. But this is an army that DeMu, in theory, should be able to easily clean up.
Yeah, with his double mangonel, he should be able to just clear up anything, honestly. Sapahi's still circling, still making sure that MarineLorD is kept on the back foot, but the walls make it to where he gets to save quite a bit of APM for himself. Same thing with the outpost.
Sapahi not really finding spots to engage on at the moment. Has to be careful. Spearman pathing, hurting the Sapahi there a little bit.
And I mean, this is where you just start to see Chinese's economy get out of control. It's 48 to 86 in the villager count. The granary transition, it's not even going to matter at this point because MarineLorD has so many villagers to spare. He's about to have a third granary, and we're about to see this food income probably get up to 2K per minute here in a little bit.
Yeah, DeMu just needs to really get his military forward right now and start doing damage. That is his main goal right now. He's also making archers right now, getting the upgrades for them. That's going to help him quite a bit. But at the same time, Springled has been produced. Nest of Bees has been produced or is about to pop out. And it feels like DeMu is just slowly but surely drifting away from that window.
Yep. Once that third granary comes into play, that's really when it starts getting scary. But MarineLorD's already eclipsed that 1,000 food per minute and 1,000 wood per minute. And DeMu isn't even over at anything 1,000 per minute. Springled's even pushing forward, able to immediately push back the mangonels that DeMu had from the MIA.
Sapahi could jump onto the Springled though. Spearman not going to be in time.
Great positioning point by the Spearman from MarineLorD, just showing us a clinic in that army positioning. Sapahi still trying to chase back around past the Spearman. Villagers even pull out their shivs. Crossbows kiting on back, body blocking for the Springled. Wants the Springled to stay alive. Nest of Bees even firing throughout all of this as well, but the Springled goes down.
One of the mangonels did go down with it though. And suddenly DeMu just doesn't really have the front line here now to protect his mangonel effectively.
He just threw away so much to try to get that Springled, and MarineLorD body blocked. He microed so well. He used villagers, healing, shivs, everything, and I mean, it's just doing too much. A small little chook raid in the base, just again being annoying. And MarineLorD, give us another minute or two, and he's gonna be max pop.
Yeah, MarineLorD just playing the clean game, going for the secrecy, and DeMu not finding the window against the Chinese, and he calls it. 3-1 for MarineLorD. He takes the set, and with that, MarineLorD is going to be the one to go into the semifinals.
God, it looked so close for a couple of those games, but DeMu, he just looked away for a little bit there, didn't realize there were some chooks in his economy, and proved to be too much to handle. Easy, good third or fourth game from MarineLorD in a very difficult series before that.